This is the focus area for leadership. Leading involves setting direction, the vision, which is the desired future state, ensuring everyone understands and supports this vision. It's the art and science of guiding a group from the present to the future state. This requires clarity, motivation, inspiration, and more. There is a separate set of slides for management. So with leading, we're getting everybody to focus on that future, which is, that says future focus, the vision, right? So where are we headed? You could even think of this as the organization itself. Where does the organization want to be in the future? And then in order to get there, we come up with goals. I'll put G for goals. So how many goals do we need to get there? And do we know what the next goal is? And this goal, 5 years, we want to be here, 10 years. And sometimes in the environment out there, they say it's VUCA, right? Volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. And so we might only be able to see like this goal, right? And so we could chunk that goal down into objectives. And so now we're the leader and we're saying that's where we're going. Our whole team is inspired and motivated to make that happen. And we're going to also show up with all the different leadership qualities. So we're not here to super train on leadership. Servant leadership is great. Host leadership is great. But we're showing that way. So providing the direction, right? Making sure everyone understands and supports the vision, and then we're going to guide people to get there. Now management would be more in the weeds, like the means to make sure that all the activities are coordinated and we're doing things right and we're doing things compliant and on time and risk and budget and schedule and blah, like that. That's more management stuff. Leading is more this setting direction, being that guide, setting first a broad plan to get where we want to go. Also, we're focusing on CI, continual improvement. And we could lead from any level of the organization. Leaders are always setting and sharing the direction, no matter where they are in this organizational hierarchy. It all does start at the top with organizational governance, the means by which an organization is directed and controlled. The governing body is ultimately accountable for the organization's performance and compliance. So to put a face on the governing body, we have usually, here's our really happy thumbs up, board of directors, right? So the board of directors, part of the governing body. We also usually see an audit committee as part of the governing body. And if it's a publicly traded company, we would see shareholders, right? And so the board is again setting that, well, where are we going as an organization down the line? Chunking it down into goals, which is like, somewhat of a high level planning, right? How do we get, what are our objectives to hit this goal, that goal, the other goal? And this over here is the continual improvement cycle, going round and round and round and round and round. And so that's just like a little bit extra there, but the governing body directs, that's the D, via strategies and policies, monitors both performance and conformance, and evaluates plans, proposals, and the improvement direction. They do all of this to ensure progress towards the organization's visions, goals, and objectives. So compliance is, of course, really important. There's lots of regulations out there. There's lots of laws out there. And a lot of times, more and more, we're delivering to what's called the triple bottom line: people, planet, and profit. So they might be, coming up with a vision that speaks to all three of those: people, planet, profit, more and more, more and more and more. So leadership is all about setting direction, inspiring others, motivating them, making sure we're continually growing and improving. Here we see the alignment and the connection of dots from the top of the triangle, the organizational vision, that desired future state, to goal setting. What do we need to hit to achieve that vision? to strategy, the broad approach to achieve objectives and goals. And now we have the middle of the triangle here. This is the tactical alignment of products, projects, service offerings, initiatives, and operational changes. Tactics are the means by which the strategy is enacted. So maybe we have a vision for a certain product, and we're going to have a project to make that product a reality. And so now this might very well be the project plan. And so leadership is about saying, hey, here's where we're going. And then management will be like keeping everyone to that project timeline and managing all the risks, identifying them, analyzing them, managing, monitoring them, like all this stuff, managers do. So management and leadership go hand in hand, but we want to focus more on leadership here, right? And so we might have a product vision, right? Or maybe we have a project vision, right? So we're still using that DPI, even though we're tactically executing to make that strategy come to life, right? Tactics enact the strategy. And of course, the vision for this product is aligned with the overarching organization's vision. And then planning the work, different plans and different practices are going to be invoked depending on what kind of project this is. So does it make sense to look at this from a project management perspective, a service management perspective, a product management perspective, right? So this is all showing how we connect those dots. And then even at the bottom of the triangle, let's just call this the operational environment, ops, right? Ops is business as usual. It's the day-to-day work. And we still need a leader to direct, plan, and improve. So that's DPI at all levels. And we're talking about the personality parts that are common. And you might already be thinking about, or as I'm talking about these different roles that are, coming up, like maybe a project manager or a product manager or a board of directors member or someone in the operational environment, like some of them might sound really appealing to you, others might not, right? And so that's part of DPI, that's part of the exploration. And also, where is your focus? Is it more on this organizational horizon for what's the vision for the org? Is it product by product, initiative by initiative, project by project, et cetera? Or is it day-to-day stuff, which is also, of course, super important. These all need to be connected, from strategy to tactics to ops. You could put on this little monocle of direct, plan, and improve, no matter where you find yourself in the organization. Leadership is about setting direction, inspiring others, motivating them, really appreciating and tending to all that's under our care, making sure we're continually growing, continually improving. And then implementation is the process of putting a decision or plan into effect, making it happen, execution. And sure, we lead through and throughout execution and delivery. Management comes into play here a lot too. It's said that leadership sets us up to do the right things, and management ensures that we do things right. Have you noticed that some people are great at the big picture stuff and others love being in the weeds? Now we have the fun of looking where those external team members are positioned. And when I say external, I mean the actual humans, not people external from your environment, but that would be them too, right? Like, where are the actual people in your organization? What roles do they have? Which departments are they in? And so we can see how DPI connects to the execution and delivery all over the board, right? And why am I showing you this? We could play the game of pin the tail on the donkey to see where team members are posed and positioned to fulfill their roles. We could grasp the perspective of what they care about. E.g., DPI to the board of directors has a different focus than what DPI looks like in ops. And now we'll turn to the internal team. So I'm using this in the context of our personality parts. People and their parts have different tendencies for different types of work and for focusing on either big picture or way, way, way down in the weeds. So when you think D part, what do you think? Right? What do you think the focus is? Big picture or way down in the weeds of tactical execution? Well, big picture, highly interested. This part cares about vision, a vision that leads to significant achievements and progress, tactical execution. Well, this part's less interested generally. This part might overlook the details in favor of big picture strategy. Okay, so the rest is very straightforward. I'm going to discard my scribbles. And then you could see for each of the parts, we go through what you'll appreciate, connecting it to the intrinsic motivators. These are the ones that are listed in PMI, which is the best practice project management body of knowledge that we get from PMI.org. And so, you ask your group, what are the intrinsic motivators for the D part, right? And then if I was going to present a new project to someone who has that D part center stage, well, how would I word it to this person, right? And then what do we want to be mindful of? And just general leading this person effectively. Okay, then we move on over for all the other parts. Excuse Theodore, his cute little trachea collapses sometimes, so you probably heard him having a little bit of trouble breathing there in the background. Then you go through, hey, this person, oh no, it's a typo. Well, that's okay. This person likely has his I part taking center stage, right? And then all the things, what will you appreciate about this? And then what likely are the intrinsic motivators if I was presenting Project Rocket? So you could ask these Project Rocket questions or change it to whatever project you want. And then the other option is maybe you want to do it at the end, but it's nice to do it when it's fresh in their mind. We just talked about their intrinsic motivators, right? We just talked about what we'll appreciate about them. And now we're talking about the project, right? And you're talking about introducing this vision for Project Rocket to someone who has that I part center stage. Then we go through all the same things, S part, C part. And again, you might want to pull a longer timer for this, but I do think maybe 10 minutes is good, or make it an open discussion. And that brings us to the end of the tour of leadership. All right, hope you like it. And I'm gonna shut this thing down and give my puppy some love.